Nick Pasqual, a name synonymous with charm, talent, and success. His boyish grin and captivating performances had won the hearts of millions. From humble beginnings, he had ascended to the dizzying heights of Hollywood stardom. His journey was one of dedication, perseverance, and undeniable talent. A true rags-to-riches story that resonated with audiences worldwide. But behind the dazzling smile and charismatic persona lurked a dark secret. Pasqual's world came crashing down one fateful night, shattering the carefully constructed facade. The very hands that had brought joy to so many were now stained with a sinister act. The actor's arrest for aggravated assault sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry and beyond. It was a stark reminder that things are not always as they appear, and darkness can lurk beneath even the most charming exterior. The allegations were shocking, the details gruesome. Pasqual, the golden boy of Hollywood, stood accused of brutally attacking his longtime girlfriend. The news spread like wildfire, leaving fans and colleagues reeling in disbelief. How could someone so beloved, so seemingly harmless, be capable of such violence? It was a question that would haunt the industry and ignite a firestorm of debate about domestic violence, hidden behind closed doors, often masked by fame and fortune. The case quickly became a media sensation, with every detail dissected and analyzed. Pasqual's fall from grace was as swift as it was dramatic. His promising career lay in ruins, his reputation tarnished beyond repair. The man who had once been celebrated for his talent was now forever linked to a horrific crime. His story served as a chilling reminder that domestic violence can affect anyone, regardless of their social standing, wealth, or public persona. The events leading up to the attack remained shrouded in secrecy, a tangled web of conflicting accounts and whispered rumors. What is known is that on that fateful night, a heated argument erupted between Pasqual and his girlfriend, within the confines of their luxurious Hollywood Hills home. The argument escalated, fueled by anger and resentment, quickly spiraling out of control. Neighbors reported hearing shouts, crashes, and a woman's terrified screams piercing the night. The details of the attack, as revealed in the police report and subsequent court proceedings, were nothing short of horrifying. Pasqual, in a fit of rage, had unleashed a brutal assault on his girlfriend. The victim, whose identity remains protected, endured a sustained and vicious attack. Evidence presented in court painted a grim picture of the violence inflicted. The victim suffered multiple injuries, including a broken jaw, fractured ribs, and severe bruising. Photographic evidence of her injuries sent chills down the spines of seasoned courtroom observers. As the investigation unfolded, a pattern of abuse began to emerge. Whispers of Pasqual's controlling behavior and explosive temper surfaced. Friends and colleagues, initially reluctant to speak out, came forward with disturbing accounts of his volatile nature. It became clear that the attack was not an isolated incident, but rather the culmination of a long history of abuse. The facade of the charming actor crumbled, revealing the dark underbelly of a man consumed by rage and a desire for control. The victim, her body battered and her spirit broken, bravely came forward to press charges. Her courage in the face of such adversity was commended by victim advocates worldwide. Her decision to break her silence was a testament to her strength and resilience, sending a powerful message to survivors of domestic violence that they are not alone. Her voice, once silenced by fear, now echoed through the courtrooms, demanding justice and accountability. The trial of Nick Pasqual was a media spectacle, captivating the nation and igniting passionate debates about domestic violence, celebrity culture, and the justice system. The prosecution, led by the formidable District Attorney Jane Miller, presented a compelling case. They meticulously laid out the evidence, painting a chilling picture of a man consumed by rage and a sense of entitlement. The defense, in turn, argued that Pasqual was a victim of circumstance, a man pushed to his breaking point. They attempted to portray the attack as an isolated incident, a momentary lapse in judgment fueled by alcohol and stress. The jury, faced with the daunting task of separating fact from fiction, deliberated for days. The weight of their decision was immense, the eyes of the world upon them. Finally, after much anticipation, the verdict was delivered, guilty. The courtroom erupted in a mix of gasps and sobs as the weight of the verdict sank in. Pasqual, his face pale and his demeanor subdued, stood motionless, his fate sealed. The judge, known for his tough stance on violent crimes, sentenced Pasqual to a significant prison term. In handing down the sentence, Judge Thomas Callahan addressed the court. his words echoing the sentiments of many. "Domestic violence is a heinous crime," he declared, his voice booming through the silent courtroom. "It is a violation of trust, a betrayal of intimacy, and a scourge on our society. No one, regardless of their status or fame, is above the law." The sentence, while providing a sense of closure for the victim and her family, also served as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of domestic violence. It sent a powerful message that such acts will not be tolerated and perpetrators will be held accountable for their actions. The case, however, sparked a wider conversation about the prevalence of domestic violence in society and the importance of providing support for victims. In the aftermath of the trial, Nick Pasqual retreated from the public eye, his once bright star now extinguished. He began serving his sentence, facing the consequences of his actions in the confines of a prison cell. His career, once filled with promise and acclaim, lay in ruins. The entertainment industry, quick to embrace rising stars, proved equally swift in casting aside those who transgress its moral boundaries. For the victim, the road to recovery was long and arduous. The physical scars, though gradually fading, served as a constant reminder of the trauma she endured. Yet it was the invisible scars, the emotional and psychological wounds that cut the deepest. The fear, the anxiety, the nightmares. These were the ghosts that haunted her long after the physical pain had subsided. Despite the immense challenges, the victim displayed remarkable resilience. With the support of loved ones, dedicated therapists, and victim advocacy groups, she began the long and painful process of healing. She found solace in sharing her story, her voice joining a chorus of survivors determined to break the silence surrounding domestic violence. Her journey, one of immense courage and resilience, served as a beacon of hope for other survivors, proving that healing is possible even in the face of unimaginable trauma. The Pasqual case, while tragic in its own right, brought the issue of domestic violence to the forefront of national consciousness, prompting a long overdue conversation about its devastating impact and the urgent need for prevention and intervention. Section 5. A History of Violence. Unmasking the Abuser. As the dust settled on the Nick Pasqual case, attention turned to understanding the man behind the mask. Who was the real Nick Pasqual? Was he a monster hiding in plain sight, or a deeply troubled individual who had succumbed to his demons? Experts weighed in, dissecting his past, scrutinizing his behavior, and searching for clues to explain his descent into violence. Childhood experiences, often formative in shaping an individual's character, came under scrutiny. Some experts pointed to a history of unresolved trauma, while others highlighted potential exposure to violence in his early years. The impact of such early experiences, particularly if left unaddressed, can have a profound and lasting impact, potentially manifesting in destructive behaviors later in life. However, it's crucial to remember that while childhood experiences can offer insights, they should never be used to excuse or justify violence. Domestic violence is a choice, a deliberate act of power and control. Abusers often exhibit a pattern of behavior aimed at dominating and controlling their victims. This can manifest in various forms, from emotional manipulation and verbal abuse to physical violence and threats. Understanding the psychology of an abuser is a complex and multifaceted endeavor. It requires delving into a web of potential contributing factors, including personality disorders, substance abuse issues, and learned behaviors. However, it is essential to avoid simplistic explanations or generalizations. Each case of domestic violence is unique, shaped by a complex interplay of individual, relational, and societal factors. Section 6. Silent Screams, the Hidden Epidemic. The Nick Pasqual case, while shocking in its brutality and celebrity involvement, cast a harsh light on the pervasive issue of domestic violence. It served as a stark reminder that this often silent epidemic knows no boundaries, affecting individuals across all socioeconomic backgrounds, cultures, and walks of life. Behind closed doors, countless men, women, and children suffer in silence, trapped in a cycle of abuse and fear. Statistics paint a grim picture of the scope of the problem. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. That equates to more than 10 million people every year. These staggering figures only scratch the surface, as many cases go unreported due to fear, shame, or a lack of trust in the system. Domestic violence is not just a personal tragedy, it's a public health crisis with far-reaching consequences. The impact on victims extends beyond physical injuries, often leaving deep emotional and psychological scars. The trauma of abuse can manifest in various ways, including depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and substance abuse. The ripple effects of domestic violence extend to families, communities, and society as a whole. The economic consequences are also significant. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that the cost of intimate partner violence in the United States exceeds $8 billion each year. This includes medical expenses, lost productivity, and the costs associated with criminal justice involvement. Addressing this hidden epidemic requires a multifaceted approach that prioritizes prevention, intervention, and support for survivors. Section 7. Breaking the cycle, a call for prevention. Preventing domestic violence requires a fundamental shift in societal attitudes and beliefs. It demands challenging deeply ingrained patriarchal norms that perpetuate gender inequality and condone violence against women. Education plays a pivotal role in this transformation. By teaching young people about healthy relationships, consent, and conflict resolution, we can empower them to break the cycle of abuse. Schools, community centers, and faith-based organizations can all serve as valuable platforms for promoting healthy relationship education. By integrating these teachings into existing curricula and programs, we can reach a wider audience and instill these values early on. Early intervention is crucial, as it is far more effective to prevent domestic violence than to try to address its devastating consequences after the fact. Creating a culture of respect and equality is paramount. This involves challenging misogynistic language, promoting healthy masculinity, and encouraging bystander intervention. When individuals witness signs of abuse, they have a moral obligation to speak up and offer support. Silence only perpetuates the cycle of violence. It is everyone's responsibility to create a society where domestic violence is not tolerated. Public awareness campaigns can play a vital role in shifting societal norms. By highlighting the prevalence of domestic violence, debunking myths, and promoting resources for victims and abusers, we can encourage help-seeking behaviors and reduce the stigma associated with reporting abuse. Breaking the silence is often the first step towards healing and justice. Section 8. Seeking solace, support systems for survivors. Escaping an abusive relationship is often a perilous journey, fraught with emotional, logistical, and safety concerns. Survivors need access to a comprehensive network of support services to navigate this challenging path and rebuild their lives. Domestic violence shelters provide a safe haven for victims fleeing immediate danger. These shelters offer a range of services including temporary housing, counseling, legal advocacy, and job training. Hotlines, staffed by trained professionals, provide a lifeline for victims in crisis. Callers can access confidential support, information about local resources, and safety planning assistance. These hotlines operate 24/7, ensuring that help is always available, even in the middle of the night when isolation and fear are often at their peak. Support groups offer a safe and supportive space for survivors to connect, share their experiences, and draw strength from others who understand their journey. These groups, often facilitated by trained therapists or advocates, provide a sense of community and validation, helping survivors realize they are not alone in their struggles. The healing process is often aided by the realization that others have walked a similar path and emerged stronger on the other side. Legal aid organizations play a crucial role in helping survivors navigate the complexities of the legal system. They provide legal representation, assistance with obtaining restraining orders, and advocacy within the courts. Access to legal assistance is essential for ensuring survivors' rights are protected and that abusers are held accountable for their actions. Section 9. Shifting the narrative, challenging societal norms. The pervasiveness of domestic violence demands a critical examination of the societal norms and cultural beliefs that contribute to its perpetuation. Challenging these deeply ingrained attitudes is essential for creating a culture where violence is not tolerated and healthy relationships are valued. One harmful myth that perpetuates domestic violence is the notion that it is a private family matter. This belief prevents victims from seeking help and discourages bystanders from intervening. Another harmful stereotype is the idea that victims provoke their abusers or somehow deserve the abuse. This victim-blaming mentality shifts the responsibility from the abuser to the abused, perpetuating a cycle of silence and shame. It is crucial to remember that domestic violence is never the victim's fault. No one deserves to be abused, and abusers are solely responsible for their actions. Challenging gender stereotypes is also paramount. Traditional notions of masculinity that link aggression and dominance with manhood contribute to a culture where violence against women is tolerated. Promoting healthy masculinity, emphasizing respect, equality, and consent is crucial for breaking down these harmful stereotypes. Media representations play a powerful role in shaping societal attitudes. It is essential for the media to portray domestic violence responsibly, avoiding sensationalism and victim-blaming narratives. Instead, the focus should be on amplifying survivors' voices, providing accurate information about resources, and promoting prevention efforts. Section 10. A collective responsibility. Our role in ending domestic violence. Ending domestic violence is not the sole responsibility of law enforcement, social service agencies, or the justice system. It is a collective responsibility that demands the active participation of each and every member of society. Creating a world free from violence requires a fundamental shift in attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. We must all become upstanders, not bystanders. This means speaking out against jokes that trivialize domestic violence, challenging harmful stereotypes, and supporting survivors in our lives. It means believing survivors when they disclose abuse, offering a listening ear without judgment, and encouraging them to seek help. Education is paramount. We must teach young people about healthy relationships, consent, and conflict resolution. We must equip them with the tools and knowledge to build respectful, equitable, and violence-free relationships. By investing in prevention efforts, we can create a brighter future for generations to come. Domestic violence thrives in silence. By breaking the silence, speaking out against abuse, and supporting survivors, we can create a culture where violence is not tolerated and everyone feels safe and respected. It is time to end the epidemic of domestic violence and create a world where all individuals can live free from fear.